Hey guys, welcome back. Christina here. So I wanted to take today's video and do something a little different. So I have done thrift hauls in the past, but today I wanted to show you guys kind of like what I look for when I go to thrift stores to not only use as decor, but also functional pieces, living a farmhouse style life. And just like what I'm always on the hunt for at thrift stores. And I'm gonna kick this off and just kind of jump right into it because I know sometimes intros can take forever. So I'm going to show you guys one of my number one things that I always look for at thrift stores that are not only could be functional, but are pretty, and I consider them farmhouse. And that is, are you ready for it? Baskets. So I always find baskets at thrift stores. I think every single thrift store you go to has a pile of baskets. So I can find small, cute little baskets like this one here, and this one too. And so again, not only can you use these as cool decor, as you can see, I have a basket back there, but that one wasn't thrifted. I use these to collect my eggs in the morning. We grab a basket, I have a pile of baskets, and I just throw the eggs in here, bring it in, and voila, sewn it done. But I also grab cute baskets, especially if they're priced well. Sometimes baskets can be overpriced depending on where you go, but you can always use them as gift baskets. I love making gift baskets for any occasion. And especially if you have a cute basket, it just makes the gift, even if it's just a few little things, it just makes it feel more special. But I also find large baskets. So this is this is a recent find that I have found. This is just a laundry basket, just your typical woven laundry basket. I've actually found two of these. One sits in my closet right now. I have all of my, just like my sandals and loose shoes. I throw them in here in the corner of my closet, keeps them all nice and tidy, and it looks cute. And this one I'm actually using as a laundry basket. I have it set on top of my dryer. My kids use it when they wash their clothes. I use it. Now, it's not perfect, obviously. There are a few little pieces missing, but honestly, nobody's going to notice. And it's functional and it's pretty. And I feel like it fits in with farmhouse, because maybe you don't think about it. Like, can you just buy a plastic? I mean, I do have a plastic one too, but that one's about ripping. So I have a plastic one. I have this one. And this one actually looks cuter. I have this one set out so it kind of functions as decor because people can see it when they walk past my hallway, past my laundry closet. And I feel like it just is really cute. So, and again, I've shown in the past, in my past thrift hauls, baskets that I have found. I have a huge one in my living room that has blankets in it. I have found smaller ones that I have in my bathroom that have toilet paper in it. I mean, they're just endless amounts of baskets. So when you go out and you're looking for like storage, but you don't want to have like some plastic stuff hanging around your house and you want to change it up a little bit, go with baskets. And they don't have to match, you guys. I promise you it will look good. So take that in consideration. So number two, the number two thing that I look for when I go thrifting that screams farmhouse, and every single person uses these nowadays, especially right now with the craziness in the world, and that is mason jars. So mason jars, oh my goodness, you guys, I cannot tell you how much we use mason jars in the house. So this is a big giant one that I have found recently. I actually have not used this one yet, but I know it will get used, especially when I start canning. After this season, I'm hoping that my vegetable garden is very successful this year and that I can can a lot more. I've only done canning a couple of times. I've made jams, but I really want to take my canning level to the next. So yeah, so I find them in tons of sizes. This is probably an average size jar. And then something I think even in between these two is what I used to use for like my sourdough starter. So mason jars are great. They're super thick. They're really good quality. And I can find the ball ones really cheap right now, especially, you guys. These things are hard to find. Even Amazon is sold out of them most of the time. So I'm not saying it's going to last forever, but I'm just saying that if you're looking for just a few here and there to store whatever, you can find them at thrift stores pretty much all the time. And sometimes you'll find them for a couple bucks. Sometimes you'll find them for less than $1. It kind of just all depends where you go. This is something a little bit nicer. You can use these as drinking glasses, although we don't, because I've found nice glasses in the past that we use at the thrift store or from the thrift store. Excuse me. So be on the look for mason jars, you guys, because they even just look pretty out on the counter. Just fill it up with some, you know, flour, rice and beans, or whatever. Just, I would love to have a pantry stocked full of like just beautiful canned pantry items. I'm like so envious of people on YouTube and Pinterest that have just these beautiful canning pantries. It's so pretty. So, can jars be pretty? Yes, they can. Something else, which is kind of a little dirty right now, but I also look for these kinds with the flip top lids. Usually find them for $1 or $2. These, it's kind of cloudy in there because I was using them for toilet bombs in my bathroom. I haven't made any in a while. So you make the toilet bomb, throw them in here, keep them in the bathroom. They kind of look pretty with little molds, whatever you make them. You throw them in the toilet, it kind of deodorizes the toilet. But these are also good for storing in pantries and such. So just always be on the lookout for jars. That's something I always find too. The baskets and the jars is something almost every trip, no matter if I go to 1 or 10, I'll find a jar. So something that you should be considering. Okay, so for number 3, what I look for is decor. Now, obviously, again, if you follow me for any period of time or came across any of my videos, you guys know I love looking for decor. It was like my first love, my first thing I do look for, because who doesn't like pretty things? Even though, like I said, you can decorate with pretty much the jars or the baskets, you can also just look for decor. So I've shown this in the past. This is one of my favorite milk glass items. I used to collect milk glass. I don't really reach for it as much anymore. I have a little bit still, but not very much. But this is just a milk glass chicken nesting bowl, and it's just so pretty. It's so cute. I have it out on my floating shelf in my living room as a display. And again, it's totally Farmhouse. It's white, so again, it goes with anything. And it's just so cute. I really feel like, again, I think I only paid, it was less than $10. I want to say it was like $6 or $7. I'm not quite sure. I'd have to go back and find that video, but she's really cute. And just something else I always find is like, you know, vintage and antique pieces. So, you know, this old candlestick with the hurricane glass over it, stick a candle in it, and it can be functional if you want it to be, but I just have it out sitting on my console table behind our couch. And again, it looks Farmhouse, it looks rustic, and it's cute and pretty. Now, if you don't really like rustic, you can obviously find something a little bit more modern, but I feel like if you're going for like a Farmhouse feel, you kind of have to throw in the old with the new. So that's just my tip. So number 4 is just probably the most thing that I am looking for nowadays, and it is just kitchen items that I use. And I have actually quite a few examples here, but I look for lots of pretty kitchen items that are also pretty but functional, things that I can have out on my counter as display, but things I can also stow away and pull out and appreciate the beauty of it. So let me show you one of my recent finds I haven't shared anywhere. Is just this wooden bowl. Now, it's not perfect. Again, I kind of like that it's old and rustic looking. You don't want everything to look perfect in Farmhouse, guys. So yes, you can get a wooden bowl anywhere. This probably honestly even came from like Target or Walmart. I'm not sure. There's no marking. I don't know that it's old. It probably isn't, but it's a beautiful wood bowl. It's something that has kind of been always on the lookout for when I go to thrift stores, but I've never find it. And so I found it and I said, you know what? I'm getting it. I didn't really need it, but I got it. And I put it here on my kitchen counter with some fruits and vegetables, and it looks pretty. And I feel like it just kind of gives it that little bit of antique that I like, but it doesn't overpower it, and it still gives it a modern Farmhouse look. And I have shown this in the past. This is something that I thrifted a very long time ago. It's still around, guys, if you guys have been with me for a long time. It's just a ceramic with a spoon holder that you stick next to your stove. It has literally been sitting there for years. Been using it, love it, still here, hasn't broke, knock on wood, but I love it. And again, it's just simple, clean, and white because everything in my kitchen's so dark. It looks beautiful. and it works out great. So I think it works great. Another recent find, which I actually am gonna have to figure out how to clean it, but something that I have actually been wanting, and I didn't really have it on a thrift store BOLO list because I didn't really honestly think I'd ever find it there. And that is a piece of butcher block. You guys, I have literally asked my husband, like, can you just figure out how to make me a piece of butcher block cutting board, because I really want one. And I found one at the thrift store and it was only $5. So there's this new thrift store in a different town next to us that we actually were next to, because it was next to the DMV. We had to go there for something, and I told my husband I was gonna go pop in there while he had to go take care of business at the DMV. And I looked around, and I, you know, again with thrift stores, you don't always find stuff. Most of the time I walk out of thrift stores empty-handed, you guys, but I went in there and I found this beautiful butcher block cutting board. It's not, again, it's not perfect. It probably should be cleaned and oiled and whatever, but it's exactly what I've been wanting. So I put it over here in my kitchen, you know, proudly display it, and it's functional. I pretty much use this thing every single day because I do cut everything when I'm cooking. And I had some smaller like bamboo ones, really thin ones that I think I got a couple of years ago for Christmas, and half of them I had to throw away already because they're super cracked and warped and they just didn't hold up. So I'm hoping I get a lot of use out of this boy, bad boy. And then something else that I actually have found at thrift stores, which nowadays is kind of hard to find, if I'm being honest, at least in my area, and that is cast iron. So I actually have 3 pieces. One I found at a flea market, that's the bigger one, and then I found this one and a smaller one at Goodwill actually. And so with cast iron, I feel like I was able to find it all the time when I really was not interested or in it, or I was intimidated by it, because cast iron is one of those things that you definitely have to practice and learn how to do. Now, don't let me scare you, because it's actually super easy once you know a few basic details and how to use it. And there's tons of videos on YouTube, you guys. You just literally have to make sure that you clean it properly and make sure that it's oiled before, put oil in it before you actually cook anything in it, and things cook beautifully. I have never had something that I have fried before come out so much better in a cast iron skillet than your typical nonstick skillet. I used to use tons of nonstick skillets because that's all I was able to afford. I had no idea. I didn't know any better. I had a huge, like, big piece of pots and pans was gifted to me brand new as a gift from I believe my father, my stepmom, from Christmas, and it was a beautiful set. And I still have the stainless steel pots and pans, but I'm slowly getting rid of the non-stick skillets because they are pretty much ruined. I ruined them because I didn't know how to take care of them. And because nowadays you read so much horrible things about just kind of the chemicals coming off of them. I know, you take it for what it is, but I honestly will say that this pan right here, this one is specifically, will last forever, and so will the other ones because I'm taking care of them. Now, this one does need to be cleaned, as you can tell. When it does get a good cleaning and I re-season it, if you will, in the oven, they look brand new. So cast iron, you guys, if you can find it pretty inexpensive nowadays, I would grab it, because a lot of times what happens is thrift stores now will jack up those prices. And when I find it, if I find it, usually that's the case. So cast iron skillet, again, is just one of those things that you guys should look for. So I also get things that, like this, just a little tiny, I think I've showed this in the past, creamer. I'm just using it with some stir straws. You can use it in like your coffee bar or whatever. Little decor pieces. I found these today, just some little ramekins. Yesterday I needed these actually. We had some like beef dip sandwiches, and I only had 2 like little ramekin jars, not this kind, but just similar size jars to put our like au jus in. And I had to give the boys some bigger bowls to dip it in. It was kind of awkward, but it worked. But I found these today, again, less than a couple bucks. So I picked them up because it's something I'm going to use, and it's pretty. It's white, so I know it's not like some crazy like retro color. Speaking of retro and vintage, So one of my new loves, well, it's actually been a long love, but I have just been one of those people that just has not been lucky in finding this at thrift stores. Now, I will say a coworker has kind of, you know, increased the interest in this because she is always able to find beautiful things. And what I'm talking about here is Pyrex. So I have recently found a couple of Pyrex bowls, just pretty mixing bowls. Now, again, that's not perfect. It's got some little, you know, specks in it. And I don't believe these are part of the same set. I found them together though. But beautiful Pyrex bowls, vintage. Yeah, and Pyrex is such a good brand, you guys. And again, it's hard to find. If you can find it, there is just some Pyrex collectors out there that love Pyrex. This is my favorite one. I believe it's called, what is the name of this print? It was right there. I don't remember, but I've never found this print before. I would love to find a whole set in this print. If I can find it, I will be super excited. So that's kind of on my BOLO list to find, is just beautiful Pyrex. Now I found a couple of pieces before that I didn't bring home. One, because it was probably overpriced and I'm not paying $30 for a bowl, especially if it's not one that I like. And maybe if it was one that I was collecting, then maybe, but $30 is a little high. Or just because it was something I didn't like. So just kind of be on the lookout for things. So these are kind of things that I look for, you guys, when I'm at thrift stores, and it's farmhouse related and it's functional and it's pretty. So I just hope you guys enjoyed this video. I just wanted to share kind of my thoughts on what I find at thrift stores, what I'm on the lookout for, and how to create a beautiful farmhouse, functioning farmhouse with thrift store items. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. I hope you guys kind of enjoyed a different video today, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.